Hello viewers, Super GT here. Welcome back to another round of the Delta Online Racing Super Gallardo Championship here at a very sunny Silverstone in England. So I did one of these rounds a couple of weeks ago and we have returned, tried to have some good racing here on Forza Motorsport 7. So everyone's using the same car. Tuning is allowed, although I must admit that I haven't really done too much of that. So we're kind of relying on our Sebring tune here. So 10 laps for the first race, or 10 laps for both races. Well, it's actually 9 laps because the first lap is a formation lap, as you can see here, getting onto the grid eventually. There we go. So the race starts on the 5-minute race time, which is there. There we go. Off the line we are. From 10th, it says 11th, but the safety car is sitting at turn 2, and you might be able to see it on the map. So through turn 1. Bit of contact there with Blackout and Matt, and I think he got a sim twitch, although an assisted sim twitch, should we say. I'm going to gain a position into turn 2, and a little bit of contact, but we're through just fine. And it is always going to get like that when you've got so many cars so close to each other. Little bits of contact. I think the thing you have to watch out for, especially with this new collision system, is that the cars can get stuck to each other quite easily. And basically your cars turn into magnets since that update. Up the inside of JSR Commando, who has not had the best of starts. Commando is a very, very fast player, and in many ways I was surprised to see him this far down. If you're mingling with Super GT, then something is wrong, especially if your name's JSR Commando. You should be a lot higher up than that. And try and go around his outside, and just have to back out there, as my accent turns almost German for a second there. But I was going to briefly make contact with these rear quarter panels, so you kind of have to back out of that situation. So up behind him, making a couple of mistakes, maybe not fully prepared for the wet weather. Most of the rounds so far have been dry, although the one I did in Sebring was, a lot of it was wet. It's coming through the sweeping corners of Maggots and Beckett's, here in 9th position. Aerox Nismo just behind, and then the pack beginning to settle down now that we've completed near enough a full lap at this point, although coming up towards Stowe Corner at the end of the hangar straight. A good overtaking opportunity, braking just after that board on the left hand side, very much reliant on that board. So if someone were to knock it down, then I'm totally screwed and I have no idea where to brake, because of course I'm not relying on the racing line, the dynamic racing line, which is actually very, very helpful on this game. If you want to improve your consistency and speed, it is worth probably considering turning on. I'd just like to have the pure racing experience. Looking behind there, Aerox Nismo dropping back, and actually got a nice gap now, a couple of 100 feet to the people behind. JSR Commando just ahead, up behind Wolf's, going for the move through Luffield. This is a weird corner in this car. This car is a weird one to drive. You really do have to make use of the coasting. In this game, coasting is so important, and through that corner in this car is doubly important. Commando up the inside, going towards Copse corner of Wolf's. Is he going to get the move done? It looks like he is. I'm going to slide through the corner, but Wolf's are going to hold on around the outside, albeit slightly off the track, but who cares? Well, probably Commando cares. But coming into Maggots, side by side, he's going to have the inside for the right, and again, almost making contact. Dangerous situation there, and AMR Lawrence taking a trip across the grass. So we're all going to gain a position here, up into 8th, and he just settles in behind, albeit very close behind, less than 30 feet or about 30 feet, as we come up towards Stowe Corner for the third time. And I've just got on the brakes a little bit too late into the back of Commando. He's not going to be best pleased about that. AMR Lawrence, he says thank you very much for that. He's going to jump up 1 position at least, maybe 2. Yes, indeed 2. So he says thank you very much. I'll take those for free, and regains 2 of the positions that he just lost. Although that's not really going to soften the blow too much. He's now going to have to try to get past Wolf's, who's holding a stern resistance there in 6th place. So 6th place is on here. Top 5 very, very quick in this. We've got some top level FRC players here. Veloce Racers, who's commanding the race from the front. Aerox Balkit, not an FRC player as such at the moment, but no doubt very, very quick when it comes to these league races. So coming down towards the final section once again, the club corner, and that's just our Commando. That is a sign of things to come. And he drifts a little bit wide. And I did mention earlier that he might not have been prepared for the rain, and I think he has a primary weakness, which is a puddle. So he has all the muscles, but he can't deal with the puddles, and he's drifting wide into club corner. That's something to take note of. Hopefully he won't learn the lesson too quickly, and I might stand a chance of beating him, which is, well, it's a good thing. If I can beat Commando, then I've done well, or he's done badly, one of the two. Bit of contact into turn 2, but I just about keep the lead at this point here. Lawrence still stuck behind Wolves, which is good news for me, as the longer they keep defending and fighting, the more I can keep up with them and stand a chance of getting my 6th place. So down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands, difficult corner this, as I demonstrate here by braking way too late. It's hard because there's no real braking markers. It's quite a difficult one to really judge. And again, I should maybe just turn on that line, but I want to have the real driving experience. Commando using full use of the Astra on the exit, and into club again. He has he's demonstrated his weakness of puddles by sliding through the puddle once again. I almost get sucked wide over the curb. But myself and Commando with a nice battle here. We're swapping and changing quite a lot, mainly down to bad driving rather than good attacking driving. But nonetheless, we are swapping places quite a few times. Up into 8th, which I suppose is good. I mean, I've gained from where I started, which is always a good sign, unless you've had an absolutely awful qualifying, in which case you should. My qualifying wasn't too bad actually. Qualified 10th. Maybe could have been a little bit better, but it was very close between about 5 of us. So crossing the line to go on to the final lap now. Looks like we can write off the challenge for 7th. Wolf's there with a couple of 100 feet margin. In seconds, I don't know what that is, maybe, let's count it, about 0, 1, 2, 3, maybe about 3 seconds there. And Commando very much on the attack here, trying to get past. So I've got basically a lap, or less than a lap now, to defend my position against the man of muscle from Wales. As we come down the back straight towards Brooklands, try and get this one right this time around. And it looks like I have done. Turning into the corner, trail braking into that one. Perfect corner for trail braking. Puddle there on the right hand side, kind of want to avoid that. I've just drifted a little bit wider than I would have liked. He's going to poke his nose in, there he is. Run him narrow on the way out. Can I get the power down? I am 80% ahead. Got the inside there. As we come towards Cops Corner, it looks like he's slowing down and backing out. So he's going to resume in behind, although not for long, as I go in a little bit too hot. Maybe 5 minutes too late on the brakes, and it's enough to go wide and let him in. So my resistance is broken, and from 8th down to 9th, which is unfortunate news. Could we perhaps launch an assault late in the race and take back that position? At this point here, Veloce Racers winning the race, and it looks like he's going to come through to win, with Erox Balkit giving him close company throughout the race. And coming through Stowe, down towards the final couple of corners. Is he going to go into that puddle once again? Not quite, he's learnt his lesson. I'm going to go up the inside, perhaps look for a move. Not much to lose at this point, might as well go for it. And he doesn't make the mistake, keeps his position, and he's going to finish 8th. I'm going to finish 9th, which was not too bad. I mean, it wasn't the best performance, but it was a good race between us, and it's always enjoyable to have a close race. There is the result. Racers with a win. Balkit 2nd. Williams Roadrunner rounding out the podium. Then Erox, Chris and Renaud 4th and 5th. So reverse grid. Here is the grid for race 2. So if you were first in race 1, which races was he going to be starting last, and etc, etc. I'm going to be starting 7th here, by virtue of 6 people being behind me in the last race. So there goes the safety car, DOR Steve, signalling the start at the next round minute, which is going to be 4. There it is, off we go. Look at those reactions, dead on 4. Away we go. Erox Nismo was actually rolling backwards a little bit there. And we're going to come across, block Commando off. So immediately resuming hostilities between us. They've gone through turn 2, down towards the loop, and then towards the village hairpin. This is very much a pinch point, and Matt Gaming very wide. Contact with Commando up the inside. So we have gained a position, although it looks like we're going to lose one to Commando. He goes around the outside in a tidy move. Drag race down the Wellington straight. Perhaps I can go for a savage lunge. It looked like there was about 5 abreast back there. Hopefully that one gets resolved nicely as we come through. Commando gaining position there. So I've gained one, but I've also lost one. Net gain of 0. Looking up the inside then on the way out of Luffield and almost pushing him wide. And it's going to be a drag race down here, but I'm not going to be able to get the job done. Wolf's just behind us at this point. So reverse grid, always interesting. Faster players at the back. We have contact there. It looked a bit weird because he hit me and my car kind of flipped to the left a little bit. It just didn't really add up. And Racers already, I don't know how he's done this, already coming through from last. I can only really come to the conclusion that he's a hacker. I mean, that is the only probable explanation. And if you're going through 15th and already in 7th, I mean, I can't really... I mean, he is good, but I mean, he can't be that good. Obviously a hacker. That's the only reasonable conclusion I can come to here. I'm going to try to assault him back at Stowe, but he blocks me to the outside. There's no way around. In fact, there's not much point of attacking him because as soon as I go past him, he'll just go straight back past me. So it's not really worth the fight. So at this point here, the weather is actually a little bit less. The rain is a little bit less. So the puddles are not as big as before. So Commando will be relishing that news as we come round the final turn to cross the line to start the second lap of the race in towards turn 1. So there's not as many puddles. You don't have to worry about those so much. Up behind Aerox Nismo now, and coming through turn 2, just going to make contact, and it's perhaps a problem with chase cams, that sometimes you can't judge exactly where your front end is. And into the hairpin, I'm just not a pretty move, a bit well, impatient really. Gonna send it, go for a full send, but if you're going to send it, you have to deliver it, and I didn't. So Nismo not going to be happy about the mailman there. Has come down the back straight, now under attack from Williams Roadrunner. So this is the interesting dynamic of a reverse grid race, that you have the faster guys behind and then technically the slower people ahead. So if you can get through the slower people first and get away before the fast guys get through, then you're golden. So it really is a matter of trying to get a good start to the race, which I haven't really done. In fact, I've lost a position overall. I'm going to try to get past Nismo the best I can as we slide through Pop's corner. At this point here, it's tricky. There's no real way through. He's making small mistakes, but none big enough such that I can really properly get past. Although that's a mistake. I'm going to have the outside line here, and it gets a little bit awkward as I slide through, and that's going to give Williams Roadrunner the invitation to go around the outside, get the job done. In fact, he gets through past the pair of us, and there's weird bit of contact. There was a tiny bit of contact on the back of Nismo, and then there was a gap, and then he went off, and there might have been another bit of contact, but I couldn't quite tell honestly. With this collision system, sometimes the way that the collisions work is really weird. I don't know. It looked like I must have hit him there because I don't think he would have just driven wide by himself, but on my screen it didn't really look as though I did, but who knows? We'll have to perhaps analyse the replay on that one. But at this point here, the race is really going away from me, as the faster guys are just queuing up to go past. So I'm going to have to weather this storm during the storm here at Silverstone. And now Aerox Chris, another very quick player, in fact a finalist at Mexico Forza Racing Championship this year. No doubt very, very fast player. I'm surrounded by them here. Of course, Williams Roadrunner, who went past on the last lap there, finalist or winner the Le Mans round in FRC 2017. So a little bit wide there. Aeros Chris is going to take the invitation to go up the inside into Brooklands and get the job done. Is he? Yes, he is. I could fight this one around the outside. There's a tiny bit of contact there, just slide wide, and almost lose control completely. Look how close that is, inches between us. I think our mirrors were kissing temporarily, and it's going to be a race down the old main straight towards Copse Corner, the old turn 1. Is he going to back out? He's going to back out. So I'm going to keep 11th. Not quite an amazing achievement. I've turned in a little bit too early. I have to turn back out. My racing here is not quite on point, and they're actually queuing up behind. Although what I would say is that I've definitely lost like overall speed on this game, but it's just good to kind of keep a little bit sharp just by playing a bit of league racing. And you know, I'm not expecting to win. It's just the fun of trying to keep up with some faster players. If I can have a good result, then it's great. But it's just to keep sharp, keep some focus on this game, keep up my ability on this game, which is slowly diminishing. But yeah, just you know, if you stop playing a game for too long, you're just going to completely drop off in ability. So it's ideal to try to keep playing it, even just a little bit, just a couple of league races every now and then, as we are here. So Flofflal, I have no idea how to say that, but he's dropping back now into the clutches of the mighty Super GT. I'm going to try to get past him. I'm going to try to get a wider entry into Beckett's and get a better run onto the Hangar straight, which it looks like we have done, although not quite close enough. I'm going to look up the inside. The move is perhaps there. The space opens up. There's contact, and my car is actually set spinning, and he's actually going to resist the overtaking attempt and keep his position for now. So this is quite a hard situation to be in, on the attack but also on the defence, as we've got HCCR Black out there in 7th, holding up Lawrence and Chris. So perhaps there are positions to be gained as Floffel makes a mistake coming out of club onto the main straight. So I'm up into 10th, and then it's my turn to make a mistake now from turn 1, a little bit wide. Coming through here, this is where you have to back out. We make contact, and I had the line, I had the inside, and he's just going to turn across, and we make contact with the rear quarter panel. And I've become so numb. I'm down in 15th, I'm in last, although look at this, it's all piling up here. As Nismo and Floffel make a collision on the exit onto the Wellington straight. Let's have a look at that again. Couldn't quite make out why they went wide, but Wolfs and Floffel very wide. Nismo on the track gets a little bit out of shape. Floffel comes back across, sends him spinning. Their loss is my gain. I was very numb in 15th temporarily, but the numbness has subsided. I'm back in 12th. But as I was saying there, the contact with Floffel, when your quarter panels are going to collide, one of the cars has to back out because you're just going to go straight on, and that's what happened through turn 2. Unfortunate situation. It could have happened multiple times in the first race, but as long as you see it coming, you have to back out early. And Wolves here makes the mistake. I just follow him wide. Guilty of that silly mistake. It's very easy to do in racing. Just you're guilty of watching the person ahead. They make a mistake, you make a mistake. They drive off a cliff, you drive off a cliff. Very silly, but I've done it. I'm guilty of it. And going to try to get past him. I love the team name there, the M25 Traffic something, M25. But for those of you who don't know, the M25 is a motorway that circles London, and it's basically a car park. It's meant to be a motorway the way you go 70 miles an hour, but most of the time people crash because it's stupid, and you're just sat there the majority of the time. Up the inside of Floffel, it's getting a bit argy-bargy now. The contact is coming, the elbows are out, he's got the inside line. I'm going to back out there. It's not wise to really go 2x2 through here. I'm going to wait to fight for another day and perhaps get an 11th. I think an 11th is on, maybe 10th, if we can really get it all together and reel in Black out. But coming down the back straight, he's going to cover me off a bit more this time. So I'm going to go to the outside, and then he's covered it off quite well. So okay, we're going to not go for the attack just yet. We don't need to, because if you just wait a couple of corners, typically things like this happen. So through turn 2 into turn 3. And Floffel just comes in for an all-out assault, brutal stuff, Peggy 18, and Wolfs just gets full-on murdered. So we've got all the evidence we need, I think. If anything, bring back the death penalty, because that was just blatant murder. And Wolfs has been claimed, Floffel the instigator, and that kind of set us free to kind of have an 11th place quite easily. Couldn't quite catch a blackout, but we're going to come through to finish 11th, qualify 10th, finish 9th and 11th, so an average of 10th. That seemed to be my area in today's event. And crossing the line there with a 209.6 at the end of the race. Commando winning the race and Racers second. Kind of disappointing in a way, because I was with Commando right at the start, so our paths could not have separated any more than what they did, really, unless I had, of course, finished last. Our fortune is very much different on this occasion. It didn't go my way today, but it's still good racing. It's always good to be racing against these kind of guys, keeping my racing ability sharp somewhat. But overall, I enjoyed it. That's the main thing, isn't it? As long as you enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you didn't. Smash the like button. As always, I shall see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Listen.